If music production is your passion, there's only one place in New
Everything I do gonna be funky.
Hello and welcome back to the evening show. I'm here with Zohaib, Carrie, and Sarah and Athena and we have the same segments, similar segments prepared for you today, and we're just gonna hop right into our historical perspective.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
One-on-one historical perspectives.
So for today's historical perspective, we'll be discussing the type of government known as totalitarianism and its presence in today's world. So like in my English 4 class, Mr. Jadroga's class, we begun to learn about totalitarianism through a novel written by George Orwell named The 1984.
What is that for our viewers that don't know?
It's a book where Orwell basically expresses the dangers of dictatorship and its role in the future. He was like, this book was like written, I don't even know when. I think like 1984. I don't actually think it was 1984. I think it was like the 1920s. I'm not really sure, but yeah.
Athena says she thinks he said the 40s.
Oh yeah, no, the 40s. You're right. Somebody listens more than I do. And through like he showed us the dangers of totalitarianism when he showed us a documentary on North Korea where a European guy basically traveled North Korea and experienced some of the dictatorship that the North Korean leader, I guess you could call him. I don't exactly know what
Kim Jong-un.
I know his name. I just didn't know if his like role is actually like the leader or like I didn't know what his title was. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So what type of things did this person experience?
So he had restricted access wherever he went.
He couldn't really use his camera that
Yeah.
much in the places.
They'd be like, put it down. You can't record anyone.
They'd be like they'd be like crazy. Like 1 minute they'd be all like cool with him, and then the next they'd be like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this, and like all that.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
What
like,
were some of the things he could or couldn't do?
He couldn't really speak to the locals. The locals weren't allowed to speak with
Yeah.
foreigners or anything like that.
Why
Like
not? Because they're afraid of like news getting passed on.
yeah,
Yeah,
the government is like
Mhm.
the government was like afraid like of letting their people like form their own opinions. They're only
Mhm.
allowed a certain like amount of like
Only educate them to some point where
Like a
they
certain
don't know
extent,
too
yeah.
much.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like in the book 1984, we just started like reading it. We have like tonight's assignment is to, like to read the first 20 pages. So like so far what we know is about how the government basically makes them like go through double thinking, each of their citizens. Basically it's like a form of self-hypnosis where let's say for example the color of this table is gray. The big brother, which is like I'm guessing the leader, if he says that the table is white, then it is white. You have to force yourself to think that it's white and then forget the process entirely, which is like absolutely crazy in and of itself.
How do you forget the process?
How do you forget the process?
Do they,
Like
like
by double thinking. By double thinking. You have to double think yourself to learn what the government is teaching you to do, and then double think again to forget that the process ever happened in the first place.
So
Exactly.
does it take like some sort of skill to like entirely believe
You have
yourself,
to like
or?
you gotta like practice it. Like I don't know if it's like it's probably humanely possible. Like
Because I don't know, there's stuff like Stockholm syndrome where like the person, where they like
when they're like captivated and like when they're with their captor, and then their brain like just makes them think that that their situation is safe, so that they don't like that's the only way.
That's like a form of denial,
They
basically.
start
almost.
sympathizing with their predator.
That's the only way they know how to deal with it. So maybe like it's a way, like some kind of thing like that. So like they're possible to think that it's white because that's the only way their brain can like comprehend. Like, why would this person say that it's white? And then, like, maybe it is white.
And then when, like, the kidnapper leaves, for example, in Stockholm
They
Syndrome,
wanna
they'll
stay
miss,
with them.
they miss him.
Yeah, and, like, another thing is, like, whatchamacallit? Oh, man, I just forgot what I was going to say. Well, like, 1984 basically is exactly what North Korea is. And, like, in 1984, another thing that they do to control their government is the way our dictionary here, like, we add words to it, like, every year. In 1984, the government in that book takes away words from the dictionary each year so that their range of vocabulary is, like, smaller than what they can actually, like,
You just
do.
take away the word
Yeah, and, like, exactly, yeah. So, like, through which they could, like, control their government, control their citizens more easily.
So, like, let's say, like, someone doesn't conform to these rules and policies. Does that, like, what happens to them?
Probably get in trouble.
They're punished.
They're punished.
Wow.
Or and if they run away, their family is punished.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess as I read more,
There's into what?
let you know.
And on that note, we'll tell you more about the book as we go on through class, but now we're going to switch to our spotlight on.
Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun, under the sun, under the sun. Red light, neon light, stop light, red light.
Hi, I'm Karina. Today I'm going to be talking about Spotlight On. And for today's segment, we're going to be discussing the topic about the festival, Fire Festival. And it was like it blew up actually in the past week or so because there was a really huge controversy on it. Basically, a couple months ago, back in December, a bunch of supermodels, like such as also... Oh no, I don't think
Bella
Hadid, Kendall
The
Jenner.
second time she's been coming on.
Oh yeah, the
Fire.
second. Victoria's Secret model Elsa Hosk. They went to this island called I'm not sure.
I don't remember it
It was
It was some type of island.
it was a private island that was previously owned by Pablo Escobar, as they say. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it's in the Caribbean region, the Bahamas. And it was really small, and they went to this island, and they like took they took like really nice pictures that would allure like possible consumers to coming to the island and like partying, as they say, for the festival. Yeah, and they claimed that like the pictures were like really nice, like the waters were clear.
Yeah, the videos.
The advertising
were
well.
nice.
The
It was, like,
advertising,
a
it
bunch
was-
of nice scenery.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
It really made you want to go to this festival, and of course, like prices for this were extremely high. It's not going to be cheap to go to a private island and party for like a weekend or so. So tickets were ranging from about like $8,000 per weekend. Yeah.
For like more.
To like
Yeah.
12.
Like
It's like
$8,000 to
$12,000.
$12,000.
Like they
Yeah.
paid more for like special catering or stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it depended on your it depended on what type
Yeah,
of ticket
yeah,
you got,
yeah.
like VIP or anything like that. So basically, that was back in December, and obviously everyone who wanted to like participate in this festival was really excited, and they were pretty pumped about going. And the festival was supposed to take place last month, I think, towards the end, and so the passengers were basically boarding the flights and everything, and it was supposed to take them from Miami to the island, an airport on the island. And once they boarded the planes and everything, and the flight finally landed, they came off the plane with all of their luggage and suitcases, and they were extremely like excited. But like unfortunately, when they got there, they saw like nothing was really set up. It was kind of like barren land, and
They were just like tents set up instead of like
Yeah,
beds and stuff.
there
and there
weren't-
was like no food at
Yeah.
all.
No running
The
water.
special catering was like a piece of lettuce.
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
a sandwich that did not look
Yeah.
appetizing.
Might as well
at
eat
all.
grass.
Yeah.
This
There
festival.
wasn't any grass for them to
It was just like sand, and I heard they were like stuck at the airport for
Yeah.
like a day, and
yeah,
there
they
was
couldn't leave or something. There was something about that.
something.
Yeah, how long were
happened.
they stranded for?
It got pretty serious actually. Eventually the US embassy got involved to finally take these like people who were stranded out. I'm not quite sure how long it took them. I think it wasn't all at once from what I know though, because passengers were being questioned and like going one by one. So I can't give you like a precise day and time. But yeah, the festival was portrayed to be like extremely like luxurious, and like you were able to party with like people on the A-list and celebrities like that. But it ended up being the complete opposite. There was really bad catering. There was like wild dogs and rats running on the roads. It was extremely unsanitary. Pictures leaked all over Twitter of what it looked like, and they were pictures of toilets, and they looked extremely like dirty, and like it was just wasn't like appealing at all.
And the models who were like promoting it, I guess they got tipped off.
Yeah,
that it wasn't happening, so they just ended up in
Not
Miami
showing up
the
at
day
all.
like,
before.
a
They didn't even
Yeah.
tell anybody.
Ja
like-
Yeah.
wasn't even there, and
Ja
like
Rule
the
wasn't there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it-
Ja Rule
it's
was the
so
pers-
shady that like none
yeah.
of them were there, and like they probably all knew it, and they let all these poor people just go. So
Exactly.
they should be to blame, the promoters and Ja Rule.
Exactly, I agree. I know Bella Hadid was like she was pictured in Miami.
Yeah, she was one of the
by the
models there,
poolside,
and then I
yeah.
saw like a picture of her in Miami at the pool.
I do know that Bella Hadid did address the situation though. She said she was on Twitter. She wrote like a little paragraph in her notes, and then she screenshotted it and posted.
What'd
She
she say?
said that she didn't know anything about this, and that if she did, she would have informed the public and this and
Okay.
that. But like, I really
I
who
doubt
believes that? Yeah.
I mean, they paid like $12,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, I
Like the lineup wasn't even that good to be
Yeah.
spending your money
Yeah.
on that. Like it was Blink 182 and all that.
Oh
And
my God.
eventually finally though, like passengers were extremely angry, and there's actually multiple lawsuits running around right now.
100 million?
Yeah, 100. Like one of them is about 100 million, and I really think the promoters of this is gonna be like they're gonna get in a lot of trouble.
I know he donated his money that he got from it to charity though.
Donate it back to the people who pay.
that
It
would
make it
be
better,
nice.
but like I mean, he gave it to charity.
Yeah. Oh well, that's all I have for now. Thanks for tuning in.
And also, we have the Spring Fling coming up here.
Oh
at
yeah,
County Prep.
speaking of festivals in County Prep, we have a Spring Fling dance coming up. So if any students would like to stop by, that would be amazing to help the music department. Thanks.
Now we're gonna go off to Sarah. What do you have for us today?
Okay, so for this week's conspiracy theory, it's not really like a conspiracy theories per se. It's like around like that kind of like creepy kind of weird stuff. So have you guys ever been like at a playground at night, or like you're up at 5 a.m. in your bedroom, or like you've ever been at a friend's house and like everyone else is asleep, or like you've been at school like during breaks or at night or something like that, and it feels like really weird
Yeah,
to you?
yeah, that
Wrong
actually
place,
is-
wrong time.
Huh?
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
that, where like you just feel uneasy, like you just don't know like why am I here, like it just feels
Mhm.
weird. and
Yeah, I
it's
feel
off.
that a lot.
So like places like the rest stops and parking lots and stairwells and waiting rooms and stuff like that.
Oh,
they're-
stairwells especially. I don't know
The
why. I
stairwells
just get
just feel
creeped
weird,
out.
yeah, right? And places like that, they're called liminal spaces, and that basically is that these places like the rest stops and the waiting rooms and stairwells, their existence is not about like themselves. Like their existence is only about like the events that happen before you get there and the events that happen after you after you leave. So like they have no real significance in your life. Like in your brain is like, I'm not supposed to be here for a long time. Like I'm only coming here for a little bit and I have to leave like quickly. And then they have no real significance outside their relationship to like the places that you're going and like you're coming from.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense actually.
So reality feels like a little bit weird in those places because you're not supposed to be in there for a long
Yeah.
time enough for you to like think about them as their own like entity, you know?
Yeah, usually
So,
it's
like-
like just a quick
Like
come and
a
go
quick-
down
yeah,
the
you're supposed
stairs
to go,
and like
up
you're
and down.
out.
You're not supposed
Yeah.
to be in a stairwell for like a long time. You're like, hey, this is a stairwell. I'm in here, and then it starts to feel weird because you're like, I'm not supposed to be in here for a long time. And then those other places like playgrounds at night, they feel weird because our brains are hardwired for like context. Our context, and our brain already has like specific times and like places like where things are supposed to be and like how things are meant to be. So like a playground at night is weird to you
because there's no children
there's
running
no
around.
children, there's
Yeah.
no people there. It's at night, and like your brain already thinks of playground as it's like populated. There's people there. It's supposed to be daytime, and when you're there at night and it's like no one's there, it feels weird because your brain is like, I don't recognize this. This is not normal, and it feels weird. So then your brain like starts to think of it like as a dangerous place. And then you're supposed to leave because it's not like normal to you, because your brain already thinks like, I'm supposed to be here like at day, not at night. What am I doing in here, you know? And then so sometimes our brain like also overrides that danger feeling, but it still like leaves you with the uneasiness. That's why like you're like this isn't really, you know, it's not dangerous, but you still feel weird, and that's why like you feel weird and everything. So yeah.
So like if you like start like hanging around a playground like at night like more often, like
Do you think
like
you'd get accustomed to it? Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
like feel
probably,
uneasy
because
like
your brain would probably like think of it as like, I'm here sometimes at night or day, so it doesn't matter.
no, but like what if you're like not there in the morning and like you show up and like all the kids are there and you're like, oh my god, what this is so weird.
Probably if you're there
Yeah.
at night all the time.
I think that happens like across countries and like between cultures too, because like for example, Americans, like we're used to one thing, like let's say eating dinner really late, but then in like other countries I know they eat dinner really early.
Yeah.
So I think it has to do with like how you experience things and how you were raised
Yeah,
as
and
well.
also like in movies a lot, like you always see playgrounds like in mornings and stuff. It's
Yeah,
just the way that we're
that we're
accustomed
portrayed.
to like,
Yeah.
seeing
That's
stuff.
the social
like,
norm.
We're not used to seeing playgrounds like at night or like anything like that. We're always seeing them in the morning, and that's why like it feels weird when you're there like at night.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. Now that we have an explanation for it,
Yeah,
maybe
they're
I won't
called-
get so freaked out.
They're called menial spaces.
I get that feeling a lot with like churches, like empty churches too.
Like
Yeah.
empty like parking lots too. They're
Yeah.
weird because they're like, you're supposed to be like somewhere else. Okay, and then yeah, that's it.
All right, now we're gonna go to Athena. You have a new recipe for us today or something?
Yeah. So last time on the show, I shared the one bowl chocolate cake recipe, and this week I have the homemade oatmeal cream pies. You can find it on mybakingaddiction.com. This recipe reminds me of the little oatmeal cookies I used to buy at the corner store for 25 cents. They were really little. What I like about these is you can make them big and they're fresh. And it's really easy to make, but I would recommend using a stand mixer or like a handheld mixer. Some people prefer it to use like a regular whisk and do it by hand, but when you're making the cream filling, you kind of need to beat the butter so it's like
Fluffy?
whipped. Yeah. And
Oh.
fluffy. Any questions, guys?
Well, like, how would you make this then?
She just said.
I mean, like,
That
the
was basically her
ingredients
whole
and
speech.
stuff. No, she didn't explain how to make it.
Well, for the cookie, you would need butter, light brown sugar, like regular white sugar, eggs, vanilla extract, cinnamon, salt, and old-fashioned oatmeal. And then for the cream filling, you would need more butter, confectioner's sugar, vanilla extract, and milk.
Can you fill the things with like anything? Does it have to be the icing thing?
I mean,
That's the point, Sarah. It's the oatmeal cookie.
No, but you can put like maybe
Yeah,
ice
that's
cream
true,
in there
yeah.
if you want.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
yeah, like, you would probably just call it something else. Like
Yeah.
Oatmeal ice cream.
Does it take a long time to make?
Maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, because you have to wait for the cookies to cool down completely before you put the icing.
Oh, because then it'll melt out.
Yeah. I learned the hard way.
And on that note, we're pretty much finished. although we couldn't squeeze in one segment, we will do so next week. We're just out of time. But thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.
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 You're so sweet.